These are accessories that I use with my A7IV that are practical in their own way. Everything has a purpose. And I want to show you some because there might be some that you haven't seen or aware of that you want to buy yourself. Let's jump straight into it. And the first one, well, I guess maybe two, is already attached to the camera here. But the main one I buy when I buy any new camera is an L bracket. If you're not aware what an L bracket is, essentially it's an L that's a bracket that attaches to tripods. Now I've removed this part of the L, which would go on the side here and allow me to mount it vertically. That used to be just for photography, but now that's Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. Basically anywhere where you film video in a vertical format. So you could use it for that, but I take that bit off and I just use the main bit on the bottom here. Now, this one is actually from Small Rig. Nice little details on here that they've done. It kind of matches the design of the A7IV here. But the big reason I use this is it makes the grip bigger and easier to hold. On the bottom there, it actually has two little magnetically attached. This is a flathead, so you can screw it in and out of the camera body. And there's actually an Allen key in the bottom here, and that allows you to screw in the side here, which I don't know where I've put, but rest assured, it does come with that part of the L2. With the design of this one, they tried to make it as minimalistic as they can. And if you try and open the battery door, okay, see you later. You'll see it actually doesn't open, and that's because there's a little door right here. And then that allows you to open up. You can change your battery out, close it back up, close that door. Nice and easy, nice and simple. Good little design. On the bottom there, designed for RSC2. This will go on the Ronin RS2 and RSC2 as well. It's Arca Swiss on the bottom there. So I can actually mount this to the bottom of a little mini tripod like these Timberpods, which I'm actually going to show you in a little bit. Hey, listen, come here. We've got to have a quick chat. I'm very aware that a lot of you watch the videos, but you don't subscribe. Do me a favor. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, maybe the like button too. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no contract. Worst case scenario, you hate the videos I post, you can unsubscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. I wasn't going to talk about this one, but I've seen it's on the front there, and I know people are going to ask. These are CineCaps. They are expensive pieces of aluminium. It's not called aluminum where I'm from. It's aluminium. They are nicer than the plastic Sony ones that come with it. They're completely unnecessary. You won't regret it once you got them, but they're pretty pricey. Next up, to go with the L bracket is something I use for shooting handheld video all the time, and that is a hand strap. Now, this one is actually from Tilta. The reason I like to use it with the L bracket on the bottom here is because there is actually a slot for putting a hand strap there. So I'm going to attach this and show you why I like this. In the hole, through the eyelet at the top. This will feed right through the top there. Why do I like to use this? Well, if you're shooting a lot of handheld, with video, you don't want to wear a neck strap. You don't want to have a wrist strap on there, but a little hand strap is really useful. You can just kind of let it dangle there. It just gives you an extra point of contact for the grip. Most people that have used one of these, once they see me talking about them, are very happy. It's just a much nicer way of shooting handheld. You don't have to worry about holding this all the time. You can let go if you need to. There's a bunch of different hand straps out there. As I said, this one's from Tilta. Small Rig also makes one. I guess we can kind of just continue to build this really as it is. I am going to take off this little Pete Design anchor. I love these for when I do need to shoot photos, but otherwise they're kind of a pain just flapping about. Next up, this. It's an EyeCup. It's a better EyeCup than the one that comes with the A7IV. And you might be thinking, well, why do I want that? I'll show you why. We need a lens. 24-70. Old Faithful. This eyepiece right here that comes with the camera is not bad, but this one is better. And it's because it's bigger. Let's take this one off. It feels like you're going to break it when you take it off, but it won't. Put it to the side there. Clip this one on. As you can see, it sticks out quite a bit further. It creates a much better seal around your eye there, so there's less light leaking in. It's much easier to see things. It's just more comfortable to use as well. If you're like me and you shoot with both the EVF and the LCD, you've been in that situation where it's accidentally turned off because you just covered the sensor for whatever reason. Less issue with that with this. It's just as high quality as the one that comes with the camera. Believe me, once you use something like this, you'll never go back to the little tiny skinny one. Next up, I don't have one on the camera yet. It just came in. I've been waiting for one. Screen protector. If you don't have one of these on your camera already, you absolutely need to put one on. That screen can get very, very easily scratched, and this just gives you the peace of mind knowing that that is not going to happen. So we're going to show you how to put one on, because they are a bit of a pain in the butt to do so. I used to work at a very large national cell phone company here in Canada, managed a store. So I've put on my fair share of screen protectors on phones over the years. So with this one, you get a wipe 1 and a wipe 2. Wipe 1 is your wet wipe. It's alcohol based. Don't worry about getting it soaked. Wipe that screen down. Once you've done that, get your little dust absorber sticker thingy-majiggy. Grab that and just go nuts. ASMR for you. Basically get that to a point where there's no dust on it. Then grab out your little screen protectors. 2 pieces on this. There's a sticker. You take that sticker off. And then that's the piece that goes down directly on the screen. Don't worry about with these, if you don't get it down perfectly, you can peel it off and do it again. Take it off. Find where it's meant to go. Keep this down so there's no dust. Nice thing with the A7 IV, same thing that the the FX3 had, is there's a little lip on the edge of the screen, so you can just tuck this screen protector right up against the edge of the lip, and that pretty much orientates it? No, that's not the right word, is it? That basically shows you where it needs to go. You might have a little tiny bubble in there, just push that out with your finger. That, if you don't believe me, I'm gonna show you a close-up, is an absolute perfect installation there. Not a lick of dust underneath it. And now, that screen is protected. They're very readily available now on Amazon. They weren't up until recently. You buy a 3-pack of these for like $10. You can't go wrong. If you screw up the first 2, you still have 1 more to do afterwards. It's kind of like we're building a little rig of accessories as we go along. This is a boring one, but it needs some attention. If you buy an expensive mirrorless camera, don't put a cheap memory card in it. Make sure you buy something good. Memory cards that you need to shoot all the formats in the A7 IV, any Sony camera now. Some of the stuff is so compressed, you need a super high-speed memory card. I can only recommend these ones. They're the ones I've only ever used. Never had any issues with them. These are ProGrade memory cards. The brand is actually called ProGrade. These are 128 gig ones. I also have 256 ones. Been shooting with these since the A7S3. Well, that'll be 18 months now. Never once had an issue. They're expensive as shit, but they're good. I'm sorry you have to go and buy something like that. Don't put cheap memory cards in your camera, especially if you're shooting professionally. You don't want to have any issues with it. Yes, they're expensive. Just buy some good memory cards. You'll thank me later. Next up is this guy. This is called the Anton Bauer Titan base. Basically, removes the need to use Sony batteries because you use a dummy battery. And this connects via D-tap or P-tap, it's the same thing. And this will power your camera substantially longer than any of the Sony batteries ever will. And this also acts as like a weight on the bottom, so it's great for shooting handheld. This thing, I did a whole video talking about before, and I'll link it up here. I shot a bunch of weddings last year using this when I first got my hands on it. With a wedding, I typically go through anything from 4 to 8 batteries. This thing, whole day, 50% at the end of the day. That's all that was used. It's extremely powerful. It's very quick to charge via D-tap or P-tap. This will screw directly into the bottom, whatever it is that you're using. Of course, you can use it directly on the L bracket here, like I'm going to show you. You could, of course, use it directly into the camera body as well. Dummy battery directly into here. Only issue with this is you can take the battery door off, but then obviously you have issues with weather sealing. So either way, you do have issues with weather sealing. It just kind of sits open a little bit, but it will sit flush. I did actually put this on backwards, but it'll still work for me to show you exactly. I mean, you could use it this way if you want to. Once that's in like that, it just gives you an extra weight. Really good for shooting handheld. None of those micro jitters now. And it turns on just as normal. Nice thing with this one as well is it doesn't give you that this is a third-party battery warning that you typically get when you use third-party batteries or dummy batteries. It thinks it's a Sony one, so it works just fine. Also, on the front, right here, you can see a percentage, which turns in when you start drawing power to a physical time of how long is left based on what it is that you're recording. If you shoot anything long form, incredibly useful. This does actually have USB on there as well. You can see there's a USB-A port on the front right there, and then you could power anything else or charge anything else if you wanted to as well. And then finally these, which are Timberpods. Typically when you buy camera stuff, tripods, mini tripods, things like this, everything's just black, and there's a reason for that. You don't want things to have reflections or show up in reflections of things, and black just kind of absorbs light. So in general, it's great for camera stuff, but if you're buying things for yourself and you don't need to worry about that, you might like something like this. They support 4.4 pounds, which is, this is probably a little bit less than that. Let's see if it supports this. This is a heavy setup if you're not aware. Sigma 24-70, A7 IV with the Titan base on there as well. Now let's see if it supports it. Oh, sorry, Mike. It does. There you go, look at that. That just shows you how strong that thing is. So what about if we put it up a bit into the other position? It does. So that is a pretty strong option, and they just look really nice as well. I think that was everything I was going to talk about, other than that little light in the background, which you, in case you wonder about, that's called a Duken light from Sirui. Little light bar there, but it does this as well. It extends. Pretty useful, fully RGB. It has effects on there as well, SOS, color temperature, fully bicolor. if you're looking for a, let's turn you off right now. If you are looking for a light bar, actually we have one right here, that is pretty compact. This is a nice option, fully built-in battery, charges via USB-C, detachable magnetic remote, which does work wirelessly, as you just saw, and extends. 1/4 inch thread on the bottom there. Pretty useful little, and that fits into your bag. Like that will go into the side pocket where your tripod would be. Right, if you want to stick around, I'm going to read you the very elegant script that iFootage has on B&H's website about this Timberpod. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. The Timberpod Anniversary Edition Mini Tripod in scented rose gold with an oxidized metal base from iFootage is an elegant yet versatile mini tripod made of carefully selected and polished hardwood, coated with mineral oil for a finish that is smooth and warm to the touch. The one-section legs open to 2 positions or can be held together to act as a selfie stick or a camera grip for vlogging. It features an integrated ball head with a load capacity of 4.4 pounds and a maximum height of 71 inches. The Anniversary Edition tripod is made of deep rosewood, which has black resinous layers and a subtle, sweet aroma. The metal base components have an oxidized bronze patina finish and are decorated with the Shang Dynasty golden mask, which dates back over 3,000 years. It sounds like I'm reading a really fancy restaurant menu. Either way, it's nice iFootage.